Here are top 10 most unlucky anime characters. Coming on number 10. Team Rocket from Pokemon. If you ever feel hopeless and uncertain, just remember that Team Rocket is trying to steal Pikachu for the past 23 years and still hasn't managed to capture it. What does it imply? Doesn't matter how many times you fall, never give up. Even though they're part of a criminal organization that profits off of other people's Pokemon, they're just trying to do their jobs. They come empty-handed every single time. They don't have powerful enough Pokemon to fight Ash and his team. Still, they don't lose hope of catching Pikachu. Despite the fact that they're not lucky enough, they keep rooting for new plans, and the day when Team Rocket will manage to accomplish the feat without being blasted into the air, it will be a legendary day for all the fans around the globe. Coming on number 9. Touma Kamijou from A Certain Magical Index. Touma Kamijou is very popular among other people because of his bad luck. Throughout his childhood, others regarded him as a jinx because of the awful luck that his right hand creates for himself and everyone around him. He has also earned the special title of the God of Pestilence. Although his right hand has the power to erase all sorts of magic, it has made him one of the most unlucky anime characters ever existed. The power in his right hand blocks Touma from receiving any blessings at all. When he goes to Academy City, he is made fun of by his peers as his right hand erases his own luck. If things go wrong for Touma, then they think everything will be okay in their own lives. He is subject to a lot of hatred and discrimination from people as they often blame him for their shortcomings. Coming on number 8. Koichi Hirose from JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. Koichi Hirose is one of the strongest supporting characters in the realm of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. He was introduced in the 4th part and his presence proved to be of worth several times. However, there is one tiny problem with him, and it's not his height. Koichi is the kind of guy who always seems to find himself in questionable situations. He has run into uncalled situations so many times that it's hard to keep the count. First, he got shot with the stand arrow because of Kicho. Once he was conned by Tamami, who threatened Koichi's entire family. Then, Koichi gets stalked and kidnapped by Yukako. As soon as he arrived in Italy, Giorno tricked him, and ultimately stole his luggage. Koichi's lousy luck never stops. Coming on number 7. Yamcha from Dragon Ball Z. Yamcha, who originally came off as a strong opponent, but as the series progressed, his situation became worse. After the breakup with Bulma, he became a laughingstock within the Dragon Ball community. Yamcha's awful luck made him the target of many jokes in the fandom. Over the years, he always seemed to be on a downward trajectory. While the rest of the Z fighters became stronger, Yamcha somehow became the weakest link in the whole series. Yamcha's bad luck only grew throughout the anime, ultimately leading him to death at the hands of Cybermen, which also turned into a meme that is popular to this day. Coming on number 6. Ganta Igarashi from Deadman Wonderland. Ganta's life began to turn into hell when a mysterious man in red executed every single one of his classmates in front of his eyes. As if witnessing your entire classroom getting murdered isn't bad enough, Ganta is framed for the killings. Since he has no proof that the red man was responsible for the crime, he is further sentenced to death by the court. Ganta's trouble only becomes worse when he goes to Deadman Wonderland, where he is forced to participate in violent and deadly fights and watch other people being killed. From being forced to fight in the carnival corpse to witnessing endless deaths, his journey only gets worse hereafter, and not calling him unlucky would sound harsh. Coming on number 5. Taizo Hasegawa from Gintama. For Hasegawa, life never improves as his misfortunes only seem to keep piling up on top of each other. Taizo had a solid career working in the government, but he got fired. Shortly after he was fired, his wife left him because she didn't want to put up with a jobless husband. Throughout the series, Hasegawa makes numerous failed attempts to get his life back together, but nothing seems to work out for him. Despite all the setbacks, he keeps a positive outlook. After all, his bad luck is a significant piece of comedic relief for at least the audience. Coming on number 4. Subaru Natsuki from Re:Zero. Subaru was a good-for-nothing before he got transported to another world on his way home from the convenience store. While dealing with the new world, he also encounters catastrophes that result in his death, though he is always revived to a point in time where he can make substantial changes. Although Subaru can live eternally, his immortality is one that no one should wish for. Using his return by death ability, Subaru can go back to a checkpoint after dying. However, the downside of his ability is that he has to suffer a painful death every single time in the new world he was brought to, and he always has to search for a way out of the maze of fate. Despite no luck and support, Subaru fights hard to protect his lover and friends. Coming on number 3. Kaneki Ken from Tokyo Ghoul. Kaneki was a simple college-going student at the beginning of Tokyo Ghoul. He was living a normal life until he decided to go on a date with Rise Kamishiro, who turned out to be a human-eating ghoul. After the date goes horribly wrong, Kaneki gets seriously injured and is subjected to an experiment in which Rise's organs are implanted into him. As a result, he turns into a half-ghoul. This made Kaneki's life hell and he went through a lot of troubles to fit into the ghoul society. Adding more to his disastrous luck, Jason tortured him like a maniac at the end of the first season, which switched Kaneki's personality and finally made him realize that he's not a human anymore. He wouldn't have expected that his life would turn upside down just because of the date. Coming on number 2. Takemichi Hanagaki from Tokyo Revengers. Takemichi Hanagaki can be considered one of the most unlucky anime characters. His life is like an endless loop, doesn't matter where he starts, Takemichi ends up in the same spot again and again. In the grand scheme of Tokyo Revengers, his entire role is unfortunate enough to make anyone feel pity for him. He's forced to go back in time to save his girlfriend but gets caught up in a bunch of drama between gangs. He does one thing right, and the other gets wrong because of it. Though a lot of his misfortune has traumatized him, Takemichi is known to be a massive crybaby who just finds himself in the wrong place at bad timing. Coming on number 1. Guts from Berserk. Guts is arguably the most skilled swordsman, and one might think what could harm a strong individual like him, but Guts have gone through the worst phase and his past is traumatizing. The soul of Guts never found peace as he was born from the corpse of her mother. At the age of 3, he saw his mother figure die in front of his eyes. Everyone treated him like a cursed child, and blamed him to be the reason for her death. Guts was physically tortured due to gruesome training at the age of 6. His own foster father betrayed him and sold him to some guy for just 3 silver coins. Guts' misfortunes continued when he joined the Band of Hawk, but soon got betrayed by his friend Griffith, who killed most of the members. His bad luck just never ends and keeps coming at him by all means. Thanks for watching and subscribe the channel.